It's honestly crazy to me, and I think about this still, that for my EP show in April, day of, we had 40 tickets sold by like run of show. By the time the show had started, we had sold 120 tickets. Room fully sold out, which is to me, as an independent artist, just like freaking bonkers. Like, not only as an artist trying to sell out a show, but as an artist that's like launching a new album and launching a tour in the summer. Crazy. So this tour was really important to me to do, I think, because when I dropped my album in 2020, I didn't have the opportunity to tour it. Whereas this year I had done 13 shows over the course of 3 months, which is a large difference. But it was important to me to get this album out there. I think, honestly, just being on stage, I love being on stage. It's one of the biggest joyous parts about being an artist and being a musician to me, is getting on stage and bringing what I have made to people who have chosen to actively see it. Which sounds so simple, but it really does like make my heart sing.
On your LA Summer Pride Tour this year, did you have a favorite stop?
So my favorite stop this year was my Breaking Sound show, which is like a company that sets up showcases for up and coming artists. The Breaking Sound show was on my birthday. My birthday show was my favorite because it was the first time that I had a full backing band. Huge shout out to CC Beats, my guitarist, and my drummer, Paul Burns. It was the first time I had an audience be like, do the hand thing, you know what I'm talking about? Which, it sounds so trivial to say, like, these tiny little things are so magical to me, but I think as an independent artist, they're really validating. So, you know, the birthday chanting, the hand waving, the full backing band, it was just like, for me, a next level. And then getting off stage and having so many friends affirm that it felt like the next step was just magical.
Yeah. Tell us about your album and how it came to be in terms of the artistic vision through the production.
So artistic vision, I think, was a long time coming. And so as a little kid, I think I was like 6 or 7, I told my mom I wanted to live in LA, which is really bizarre when you think about a 6-year-old being like, I'm gonna live in LA. She's like, you don't know how to feed yourself. I don't know how you're gonna do that. My freshman year of college, I had left Ohio for the first time. It was winter quarter, everybody was getting ready to go home. A lot of the friends that I had made were homesick. Everyone had said like, oh, I'm homesick, I can't wait to go home. And I realized that I'd never felt like I had been home in Ohio. And so coming to terms with this idea of homesickness and the idea that I could never have it was a little bewildering to me. And so that concept of home really stuck with me over the next decade. Between living in Savannah and living in New York and living in Chicago, I had been all these places knowing that they weren't home. But I knew at a really young age I wanted to live in LA, and so it does not come as a surprise to me that when I moved to California for the first time, I felt that immediate sense of home, and this album and this concept of home poured out of me. And so the album concept of Revelation basically is this journey of finding home in yourself. The first track, Homesick, is the discovery that you've never been home and you don't know what home is. The second track, Control, is about addiction, and it's about trying to find home in other things that you can't find home in. The third track, Revelation, is the obvious titled revelation of figuring out that the home you're looking for is not in other things or in other people, but in yourself. The fourth track, Starseed, is the celebration of knowing that you are your own home and celebrating that within yourself, which for me kind of doubled down with this analogy of coming to terms with being non-binary and being queer and what that looked like, not only as a human, as an activist, as an artist, but just in general. Celebrating that within myself. And then the last track, Blue Skies, is when you acknowledge that home, you dress it up, you figure out how to decorate it, and then you open the doors and let all your friends and family come in and celebrate with you. It was interesting to me to develop this concept because I had originally developed this whole short film with it that was going to be based on geographical locations like the woods and cityscapes and deserts and mountains and beaches, and there was this whole through line of finding home and putting this like beautiful alien-like armor on yourself. And I think the short film wasn't as important as the actual execution of the music. One of my favorite quotes by Degas is that art isn't how you see the world, but how you make other people see it, which has always been a motivating line for me as an artist. And so the visuals of going on tour and having these costume changes and unveiling the outfit that I had on the album cover, which is basically just like shedding the skin that you're living in and coming to terms with who you are and what you want to be identified as and how you want to present yourself and all the beauty that comes with it. You know, I'm there to present these very heartfelt, deeply personal songs to people and have them hopefully connect in a way that makes them see the world differently and see themselves differently, because connecting with not only my audience, but the people that are listening to it online and streaming it on all the streaming platforms, it's like that connectivity is what makes us human. I want everyone to have the home I have found in myself, in themselves.
Tell us a little bit about the production of the album.
So the production was huge because it was a little bit outside of the realm of what I had done before, and that was important to me because it was so autobiographical, almost as important as the people that produced it. And so the producers that I worked with, Jamie McCardle, who was based in New York, who did a lot of production for me on my last album, Cold Blooded, introduced me to Ivan Fialos Zambrano, who did all the in-studio vocal tracking. And both of them really understood concept-wise, vocally, sonically what I was trying to do. And I think having those two not only honor the art that I was trying to make, but be able to give feedback and collaborate in that way that it was creative for all three of us is what made the album as successful as it's been. Collaboration for me is such an important part of art, and without it, where would we be, you know?
What's next?
I've got a music video coming, and then there's the deluxe version of the album. So on top of that, I'm already working on my next album, which I think is sonically something maybe a little braggadociously that no one's ever done before. So yeah, there's so much coming. I'm like geeked out about it.